ever kissed a girl that's on birth control, you need to watch this video. I'm not a doctor, but let's just use some common sense. It's no secret that men's testosterone levels have been decreasing for years. In fact, let's take a look at this graph, which represents the average US male's testosterone levels since 1960, which ironically is around the same time that the pill was invented. As you can see, your testosterone levels have been plummeting ever since. So why is that? Well, for one, we know that some of the estrogen found in our tap water is a result of the pill. There are tons of articles pointing to the fact that our waters are so infested with estrogen that male fish are developing female sexual organs. But if that's still not enough for you to believe me, here's something straight out of Dr. Patrick Flynn's book. Here's something very few people realize about prescriptions, including birth control. That hormone shows up in your bodily fluids, not just your bloodstream. It's also in your saliva and your vaginal secretions. Ladies, if you are on birth control, every time you kiss him or have sex with him, he gets the hormone. You are passing it to him. I have men come into the office and their estrogen and progesterone levels are way off. They ask me how it's possible. Is your wife on birth control? Well, then you're taking it too. If you're a man on dating apps, you may have already fallen victim to this. There's a Facebook page called Are We Dating the Same Guy? It is a disgusting place where women who claim to be looking out for each other are actually just humble bragging about their dating lives and indulging in the toxic destruction of normal men. I know some really awesome men who have been personally impacted by false slander in these groups, and I've also received tons of stories from you guys about your own experiences with this. And here are some of those stories. So you guys are not alone. And yes, this sucks. But here's the bottom line. These women are just angry at their miserable lives and taking it out on men. And many of them are just desperate girls who are trying to deter others from pursuing you so that they're the only option you have left. It may feel like this is going to ruin your reputation in dating life for good, but it won't. Like anything else in media today, each story lives a very short life. This time will pass for you and it will get better. If anything, maybe just use this time to take a break from the apps and start talking to girls in person. This negative will not only pass, but it will turn into a positive. Life is a funny way of correcting itself, so keep your heads up. My boyfriend's always coming home late from work recently. Why's that? I just think he's addicted to his job and doesn't really care about anything else. And then he just comes home and plays Xbox with his friends. He's all happy with them and then he shuts down when I try to talk to him. Well, how do you talk to him? I tell him he's not dedicating enough time to me. And then it just turns into some fight about how he's doing his best. But he's not. He could be with me and not that stupid Xbox. Is your boyfriend good at his job? Yeah. Do his friends that play Xbox seem to appreciate him? I mean, yeah, but I think your boyfriend's spending time in places where he receives respect. His boss, his colleagues, his friends. Men are really simple. All they want is respect. And their time and attention tends to go where they receive it. How about instead of making him feel bad for working late, you tell him how much you appreciate his hard work and dedication to his career. Instead of telling him how he plays too much Xbox, you treat him with the same respect as the friends he plays with. Instead of expressing your frustration, you ask him what's on his mind. Once he feels respected, appreciated, and understood by you, he'll never want to leave your side again. Dating women who are dealing with trauma from their past can be difficult, but it can be done. And the first thing you need to understand is that you are not the one who will fix her. So assuming her trauma isn't too extreme, and so long as she is taking steps to consciously fix herself, your job is not to fix her. It's to see if she's willing to drop any walls she has up. The answer is not to sit there and invite her to trauma dump. That's what a nice guy in the friend zone does. What you need to do is figure out what she truly values and validate that ideal version of her. And I don't mean flattering her with compliments. I mean figure out what really motivates her and start to emotionally stimulate and validate those things. Does she pride herself on compassion and nurturing of people? Show appreciation for those moments when you notice those traits being displayed around you. Is she a girl who loves fashion and art? Shine a positive light on her moments of creativity. Does she want to be a mother? Celebrate the moments where she shows that she'll be a good one. Dig deep to find out why she loves the things she loves and make her feel like those things are genuinely appreciated and respected by you. Because if you make her feel like she's on the path to being the absolute best version of herself, she will be absolutely obsessed with you and your presence in her life. And she will drop any wall she previously had up. Attention to the ladies out there. Just because he doesn't want you plastered all over the internet with your thong bikinis and nipples out doesn't mean that he's insecure. Insecurity is not men trying to preserve the thing that's supposed to be reserved for them. In fact, it's a very simple request for loyalty and respect. You can tell yourself that these photos are just for you, all that you want, but if you think you're going to make any man happy by marketing your sexuality to the rest of the world, you are truly delusional. By the way, who's actually insecure? A man who wants you to demonstrate loyalty and is ready to walk away if you don't? Or the woman who needs validation from more men than just the one she's dating? This isn't about slut shaming. This is about helping you view the things men ask of you through a different lens. I want every woman to be in a happy relationship with beautiful families. And that is why I'm breaking this to you. So Miley Cyrus released a new song talking about her youth. It's about how she used to be fun and wild because she was young. Her tattoos, her flings with men, her over-sexualized fashion are all just a product of her youth. Well, I've got a huge bone to pick. They say intelligence is learning from your own mistakes, and wisdom is learning from the mistakes of others. So my question to this is, why does every adult insist that the youth should make all of the same mistakes that they did, rather than passing along the wisdom of those mistakes? Why do parents and schools encourage things like the college experience? Why is our definition of sex education practicing safe sex, rather than preserving yourself for the individual that you can see a long-term future with? I'm so sick of the youth being encouraged to do the things that have resulted in nothing but regret from the people encouraging it. Be single and have fun, says the woman who's traumatized by all of the men she dated. When is this going to change? We as adults have an obligation to the generations coming after us, and I, for one, am not going to sit here and encourage them to do the things that have consistently resulted in nothing but regret for the people before them. If you're in the friend zone right now, you have two options. Continue being her friend and give up on the idea of ever dating her. Or two, stop being her friend and give yourself a fighting chance at dating her. I'm gonna give you the hard truth. She might like you, but she doesn't desire or respect you. You wanna know why? Because you're acting like a girl. You're passively marketing yourself to her. You're basically begging her to notice you. That's not what men do. When a man with confidence and self-respect wants to pursue a relationship, he makes his intentions clear and doesn't play games. He acts in a manner that represents what he wants the relationship to be. And if she doesn't reciprocate, he moves on to a girl that will. He doesn't linger as her friend. The first time I flew to Florida to visit my now boyfriend, I told him I wanted to visit his friends first to see if we had a good connection. He told me, verbatim, I have no interest in being your friend. This statement was jarring, but it did two things. It simplified the situation and put me in a much less anxious headspace, and it also made me respect him immensely because he was clearly a man of self-respect. So find some self-respect of your own and get the hell out of the friend zone.